game without knowing the rules. Hello, my dearest friends. Svetlana Shlapak, the founder of UKVisaSuccess.com is here. Can you really win the game without knowing the rules? You can't, and that is precisely my point. Unless you are at the same page with the decision maker who is reaching a decision on your visa application, your chances for success are very vague. And that is precisely why I've created this Know the Rules to Win the Game video series where I'll be deconstructing all major UK immigration categories. There will be overview videos giving you all major rules about relevant categories so that you can see exactly what the decision makers look at when they consider your applications. And if after watching this video you want some more information, please do check my website and also the description area of this video. There I'll be giving you information regarding the next free webinar which I host in order to help you understand various aspects of UK immigration law. Please help me help others by liking, sharing this video and subscribing to my channel. For those of you who already done this, thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate this. So let us deconstruct the next immigration category. In today's video, I am going to talk to you about permitted sources of income when meeting the financial requirement. In my previous video, I've explained to you that in order for a couple to succeed with their applications to enter the UK as a spouse of a British citizen or someone who's settled in the UK, they will need to meet a number of requirements, one of which is the financial requirement, which can be met unless a person is exempt. They can be met by showing that the couple in question earns at least 18,600 of gross income per year, and if they have any children who are visa nationals, they have to prove additional income of 3,800 for the first child and additional 2,400 for each additional child. This financial requirement can also be met by the way of showing savings, which are in excess of £16,000. In my previous video, I've explained that I will talk you through the permitted source of income, because this income is only acceptable by the Home Office if it is from the source of income which is accepted by the Home Office. So today's video is about these permitted source of income and the categories which we'll be discussing today. So today's agenda is the following. So we are going to I'm going to explain to you 5 ways to meet the financial requirement, 7 categories of permitted sources. I'm going to explain to you how these sources can be combined, or in where you can get the information of how these sources can be combined. I'm going to explain to you which sources are not permitted. I'm going to draw a distinction between salaried and non-salaried employment, and what happens if your British citizen or settled spouse is entering the UK together with you. And if you need further assistance, I'll tell you exactly where you can get it. So there are 5 ways to meet the financial requirements, which consist of 7 categories. I would like to start by explaining which sources are the guiding you through the process through the sources which are not permitted. First of all, the third-party support is normally not permitted unless it's child maintenance or some other payments. Income from others in the same household, except any dependent children of the applicant who just have turned 18 and continue to be counted towards the higher income threshold of the applicant. Loans and credit facilities are not accepted. Also, all types of benefits. These are not accepted, either income related or contributory based. Child benefits, working tax credit, child tax credit, universal credits, unemployment allowance for a low standard of occupation, and so on and so forth, and other sources which are not permitted by the Home Office. Basically those sources which we are not going to discuss here, they are quite unlikely to be disallowed by the Home Office. We'll begin with discussing the first very simple and straightforward source of income, which is income from salaried and non-salaried employment of the partner, British citizen partner, or someone who settled in the UK. And if the applicant is already in the UK and they have permission to work, then their income can be counted as well. I would like to explain to you the distinction between salaried and non-salaried employment, because you may have a question about this. And the salaried employment is when a person has a fixed contract and they receive a fixed salary, whereas a non-salaried employment is when a person receives income in accordance with the hours that they work. And this is it. This is the only difference. And there are two categories of salaried and non-salaried employment. Category A, where the applicant or the partner of the applicant was with the same employer for at least 6 months, and the category B, when it happened for less than 6 months. The difference between the two is in what kind of documents you will be producing. If you are with the same employer for at least 6 months, then you will need to provide evidence for the past 6 months confirming your income. So they will only take into consideration your income over the last 6 months. If you were with the same employer for less than 6 months, then they will consider your income over the last 12 months. And what happens if you have a British citizen partner or a settled partner who is not in the UK and who would like to return to the UK together with you in order to start living here? The answer is quite simple. In addition to your income for the past 6 or 12 months, you will need to provide the Home Office with an evidence confirming that you are about to start your salaried or non-salaried employment within a maximum of 3 months of entering the UK. The second way to meet the financial requirement is showing your non-employment income. And I'll show you in a second what this is. If you are relying on category C, if you would like to show your non-employment income, then you will need to produce evidence for the past 12 months. So income from your property rentals, dividends, and other income from investments, stocks and shares, bonds, trust funds, interest from savings, maintenance payments, UK maternity allowance, payments under the Work Pension Scheme, maintenance grants, ongoing insurance payments, and so on and so forth. So these can be accepted as income from non-salaried employment. Please, if you believe that you belong to this category, please pause this video to see a full list of all these types of income. The next category is cash savings. So, as I've explained in my previous videos, you will need to show cash savings of at least 16,000, so they will not take into consideration any savings which is less than this amount, and you will need you can only rely on these cash savings if they were held for more than 6 months. This is very important to note for unfortunately for self-employed people, that unfortunately you cannot rely on cash savings when meeting this requirement. So if you are relying on your savings on your self-employment income, then you will not be able to make cash savings. In my previous video, I've showed you the formula for calculations of cash savings above 16,000, and I've also given you some examples. Just a very quick recap. For example, we have a couple and where the partner, the British citizen partner, earns 18,000 pounds a year as opposed to 18,600, which is the required minimum. So he has a shortfall of 600 pounds. So what we do with this amount? So first of all, we take this shortfall, which is in this case, in this particular case, is 600 pounds, and then we multiply it by 2.5, and then we add 16,000 on top. And this is the amount which the couple will need to have in savings in order to prove that they meet the requirements. Or for example, if the couple has earns they need to earn 16,600 and they earn 15,000 pounds, so they have a shortfall of 3,600 pounds, which we need to multiply by 2.5 and add another 16,000 pounds. And in a couple in this case where they have a shortfall of 3,600 pounds, they will need to have cash savings of at least 25,000 pounds. I would like to draw your attention once again that cash savings, unfortunately, self-employed people are not allowed to rely on cash savings, and therefore you have to be very careful when you submit your application to the Home Office, just to be absolutely sure that you are using the sources which are only combinable together. If you want to check which ones are and which ones are not, request this information by clicking the link below, enter your email address, and I will send you an extract from the Home Office guide, which explains which gives a beautiful table explaining which ones, which sources can be combined, which ones can't. And the next way of meeting the financial requirement is relying on your partner's state pension. You will need to prove that you were getting at least 28 days. It can be your pension either in the UK or abroad. The last most confusing category is category number 5, which consists of actually two elements, category F and G. So this one is for self-employed people and those who are either directors or employees of specified in other words, their own companies. The difference between these two categories is only this: if you had a bad financial year and you need to make your application to the Home Office, but your previous financial year was great, then you can submit, you can choose whichever you want to submit. You may submit, if your previous financial year was great, then you can submit the evidence for the last 2 years. If your last 12 months were great, then it's only 1 year which is required. Guys, I'm very well aware of the fact that this area it causes lots of confusion, especially with regards to calculating this source of income, and therefore I've created a special video where I will be giving you various examples showing you how this is calculated by the Home Office. And therefore, please find this in my playlist. Find this video to see examples of all the permitted categories, and I guarantee that it will be all very clear.